Okay, hi. So on this worksheet, you can either follow along with me on this video or you can choose to do it self-paced by yourself. I think the instructions are really clear, but if you get confused about what I'm asking you to do, or if you need some help with some of the stuff, it would be a good idea to kind of catch up to where I am in the video, and do it along with me for a minute. The first thing we're supposed to do is to take the function sine of x, f of x equals sine of x, and get both exact and approximate answers out for each of the input values. So each of these x values along the top here, we're supposed to choose those values, put those into sine of x. We can use our unit circle to get the exact answers, and then we can use the calculator to get the approximate ones. So the exact ones are pretty quick because we're basically just choosing the y values around the unit circle. We're starting at 0. The sine of 0 is 0. And then the sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. The sine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, and etc. So you can follow along like that. I'm going to pause the video, fill in the rest. I don't want to have to make you watch the rest. So there are my exact answers. For my approximate answers, we can keep like a half, 0.5, whatever. Square root 2 over 2 is 0.707 or so, and square root 3 over 2 is 0.866 or so. After that, you can kind of approximate the rest of them just by knowing those three ratios. So I'm going to fill those out in. So there are my approximate values then. What I'm going to do for the graph is I'm going to assume that like kind of the top of this graph is about 1, and the bottom of the graph is about the bottom of the graph is -1. Then I'm going to try to plot the points as best as I can, knowing that half is here, So we'll put dots where they belong. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough for our purposes today. Okay. And then it says to connect the dots with a smooth curve. So I'm going to do that. So there's our first ever sine graph. Looks like that. We're going to do the exact same thing for cosine. I'm not going to make you sit through any explanation for how I'm getting these, except first to say that the cosine is the x values along the outside of the unit circle. So the first part of the coordinate is the x value, so I need to choose those ones. So it's going to be 1 and root 3 over 2, etc. So there are my values. Again, I'm putting 1 here and -1 here. This is like a half, this is a -1/2, so then that means my graph is going to look like this. So here's my graph for cosine, and yeah, it does continue along this direction too. So it's kind of like that. Cosine and sine are super similar. It's just that it's a matter of where these things are starting. So I noticed that that sine was starting at 0, 0, and cosine was starting at 0, 1. So that's going to be an important thing for us to notice. I kind of spoiled some of the questions that you might have your own response to for what you notice or what you wonder about. You can talk about how they're similar shapes, and maybe like they have the same curve, but they have a different starting point. Okay, so sine starts at 0 and goes like this, so this is sine of x, and then this is cosine of x. Okay, so we call sine, cosine, and tangent functions periodic because they repeat. So periodic just means a repeating function, and so all sine, cosine, and tangent are going to repeat, and that kind of makes sense because it's like going around a circle over and over and over and over again. And so if you're going around a circle multiple times, you would expect the behavior to be the same every cycle, every time you go around the circle. And so the periodic nature of sine and cosine and tangent makes sense because we're working with a circle. Everything is circular. Okay, the period is the distance between the repetitions. So I'm going to call it the time, no, not time, the distance between repetitions. And I'm going to kind of think about, okay, well, if I'm thinking about my unit circle, then it makes sense that it repeats every 2 pi units because it starts at 0, goes all the way around the circle to 2 pi, and then once you get back to 2 pi, you're kind of back at the same spot as 0. And so our period of the parent functions y equals sine of x and cosine of x are both 2 pi. Okay? Amplitude is the distance from the midline to the top of the graph. So if I go over to my graphs that I just sketched right here, this is the midline. Here as well, this is the midline. And then the top of the graph is up here and up here. And so the amplitude is the distance between here. So I'm going to label these as A, capital A for amplitude. So normally, the sine and cosine functions both have amplitude 1, but we can start changing that, and we'll start changing that really soon here. Amplitude is center line or midline to the top of the graph. Okay. However, if I start thinking about, okay, what happens if I stretch this graph? I would have to put a number in front of sine, and I would have to put a number in front of cosine. And so the amplitude of anything that has an A in front of it is just going to be A. So we have 2 graphs here. We have 2 cosine of x and we have 4 sine of x. So let's start by labeling our graph and saying, well, we're probably going to go up to 4 because we just learned that the amplitude is the number in front. Okay, so this is 4, this is -4, this will be 2 and -2. Okay, so our cosine graph starts at the top, right up here, but instead of the amplitude being 1 like it normally is, it's 2, so we're going to stretch it out to be like this. I remember that the cosine graph hit 0 at pi over 2 and at 3 pi over 2, and I remember that it was up at the top at the end and it was at the bottom at the middle. So this is our 2 cosine of x graph. Okay? And then the other one is 4 sine of x. And I remember that sine hit 0 at 0 and pi and 2 pi. It was at 1 at pi over 2, so I'm going to scale that up to 4. It was at -1 at 3 pi over 2, so I'm going to scale that up to -4. This is what our sine graph will look like. I'm doing the best to draw a really nice smooth curve. A lot of the time people end up drawing curves that look like this. That is not the goal. I don't want you to make it so pointy. You need to make it a smooth curve as best as you can. This is y equals 4 sine of x. I think you should try this problem, the next problem, by yourself, given that you know a lot of things about doing stuff that has a negative coefficient in the front without me. After that, you can come back to the video and I'll talk through it. We talked about how cosine normally looks like this, and sine usually looks like this. The negative is going to flip the whole thing upside down. So instead of cosine starting at the top point right here, it's going to actually start down here at the negative point. But because we have the 3 there, we also have a vertical stretch. So we have an amplitude change as well. So that's going to be in this, we'll call, wait, hold on a second, Mr. Nelson. 1, 2, 3, there we go. Okay, so cosine is going to start there now. 1, 2, 3, like that. All right. Again, it's going to hit 0 here, and it's going to be at the top here, It's going to hit 0 here, and it's going to be at the bottom here. So we basically put our 4 or 5 landmark points there and draw our smooth curve through them. Okay, there's our -3 cosine of x graph. If you're like, what is happening? And I have no idea how you're getting any of this. It is okay if you're using your graphing calculator to do a lot of this, because that's a really good resource and it's good practice for us to be able to use that strategy. Just make sure your calculator is in radian mode. So press mode and then scroll down to radians. Make sure you scroll over to where it says radian, press enter, and then you should be able to go back to your y equals menu and type it in. Okay, this one is a -3, -1/3 for the sine. Sine always starts at 0, hits 0 at pi, hits 0 at 2 pi. We would normally think that sine would start by going up, but it's going to start by going down because it's a negative. The other thing is, because we're working with the 1/3, that's a really small compression. And so instead of it going all the way down and up to -1 and 1, it's only going to go down and up to -1/3. So I've got to try to kind of squeeze these points in here. They're going to be very short. I'm going to kind of, I might even be overestimating how deep that curve is going to go. That's okay. Okay, so this green graph is y equals -1/3 sine of x. I already kind of spoiled the fun, but if you have a -a, then the graph is reflected across the x-axis from the parent function. This is the same pattern as we've seen for every other graph so far this year. Okay, so the summary that I need you to know is if it goes through 0, 0, it is a sine graph. There's going to be something about sine x in it. If it goes through either the top or the bottom points, though, then it's probably a cosine, because cosine starts at 1, sine starts at 0. So this one looks to me, if this is 2 way up here, this is -2 up here, down here, then that means that this spot right here is 1/2. So the amplitude there appears to be 1/2 because it's midline to top of the graph, which is 1/2 of a unit. And so I can see that I have 1/2 sine of x. The period appears to be 2 pi. We will deal with changing the period on Monday. I'm going to write y equals here so that it's named something. Okay. This one is a cosine graph because it starts at the top. It appears that this is 2 and this is -2, and so this looks like 1.5. So I'm going to write 3/2. Y equals 3/2 cosine of x. Last one, it appears that this is a normal sine graph. It looks like this is -1 and this is 1 up here. And so it looks like the amplitude is 1, but the thing that I notice is that it's going down first instead. So that looks like a reflection across the x-axis. So I've got y equals -sine of x. Okay, there are 4 problems on the CYU that I want you to try to complete. You just have to identify the period and the amplitude. We are not really changing the period at this point. So you can pretty reliably assume that the period will be 2 pi for now, but that will change on Monday. You have to figure out what the amplitude is. You have to figure out if there's a reflection, and then you have to give me a sketch of the graph. That is your kind of remaining thing to do for today and over the weekend. I'll see you all on Monday.